Hey there, friends. Welcome back to the Food Freedom Podcast. I am Coach Mary Roberts, your food addiction recovery coach, and today I am recording from the car. Again, I've had to do this a few times because this is just how I roll sometimes. If I want to get it done, I've got to do it where I am. So today I want to dig into something that probably hits home for a lot of you. I know it was a huge part of my journey. And so the title of today's podcast is When Food Isn't the Answer, Finding Your Real Needs. So for a long time, food was my answer to everything. Sad? Eat. Bored? Eat. Overwhelmed? Eat. Angry? Definitely eat. I didn't know how to feel anything without reaching for food. It was my go-to. And the truth was that food was never the real answer. It was a cover for the deeper needs that I didn't know how to name them, and I certainly didn't know how to address them. So, and chances are, if you're listening to this, you've been there. You understand what I'm saying. So let's get right into it. The comfort is an illusion. And so, let's be real. When you're in it, food feels like the answer. It numbs, it soothes, it distracts, but comfort food doesn't actually comfort you. It just delays the discomfort. And eventually it adds guilt and shame on top of whatever we're already, dealing with and feeling. And so we have to start asking ourselves some questions like, what am I actually needing right now? What's my real need? Because 9 times out of 10, it's not food. That 1 time out of 10 that the answer is food, the problem is real and true hunger. That's the only thing that the only problem that food can resolve. So 9 times out of 10, it's not food. It's rest, it's boundaries, it's connection, it's truth, it's safety, it's permission to feel something difficult, to feel something hard. And so what we need to do is get curious and not, be judgmental about ourselves. One of the most powerful, mind shifts that we can make in our recovery, one of the most, a big tool that we can use is learning to pause and ask ourselves, what's really going on here? And, we can't come from a place of judgment or shame. We have to be curious. So if I'm craving something that I know doesn't serve me, then I know there's something going on underneath. What's underneath that craving, that specific craving we're having, right? And am I avoiding a hard situation, a hard conversation, a difficult person? Have I overcommitted to something? Am I burning myself out with my overcommitment? Or am I lonely or feeling unloved or disconnected from people? Food cravings are messengers. And, most of us have been silencing them with more food instead of listening to them. So what we need to do is meet our real need. And this is where some of the tough work is. When I say you have to do the work of recovery, this is one example. This is what I mean. Because once you can identify the real need that you have, you can start meeting it with something that's actually going to help. Right? It's like it's actually going to take care of your problem. And so you may need to learn how to rest. You may need to speak the truth with that you've been stuffing down, right? You may need to reach out to somebody who understands what you're going through. And that's part of why I created my Food Freedom coaching program. It's to walk with you as you untangle food from your feelings, because we are emotionally attached to food. Our feelings are all wrapped up and tied to food, and we have to find out what you're really needing. And I help people do that. So, clearly this is not something that you can do by yourself, or we would have done it already, right? So inside my coaching program, I'm not just talking to you about food. I work with you on the thoughts, the patterns, the emotional healing that needs to happen for you to truly find food sobriety. So if you're tired of using food as this fake solution, and you're ready to get honest about what it is you really need, and you're ready to find out what it is you really need. Sometimes we're avoiding the truth, right? But if we want healing and recovery, we got to find out what we really need. And so in order to do that, you got to take the next step. And so there's ways you can go about that. You can join the Food Freedom Tribe and get coaching, accountability, and community that understands food addiction at the root and understands what you're, going through. Or, you can work privately with me if groups are not your thing. If you are still convinced that nobody understands and you don't want to be in that group setting, then you can work privately with me. Or if you're just getting started and you want a free resource, go grab my Beginner's Guide to Food Sobriety. It's a powerful little guide that will, help. First of all, the first thing in there is an assessment, a self-assessment. Where are you on that food addiction and disordered eating, spectrum? And it'll help you, take that first step to understanding, what you're dealing with and what food sobriety can actually look like and how to start walking in it. You'll find both links in the show notes. So just remember this. You're not weak. You're not broken. You are a woman who has used food to survive. And now you need to learn to actually live and not use food for the things it's not meant for. Thanks for listening. Keep going and keep growing. And I'll see you in the next episode.